Pop quiz time. Is it better to plant in the spring or in the fall? You think you know the answer? Well, let's talk about it. Well, the answer could actually be either one, depending on what type of plant we're talking about. So for anything that is cold hardy in your area, I'm talking about plants that even in a really hard winter for your zone have no problem surviving a cold winter, which is actually going to be most of the landscaping trees and shrubs that you'll see commonly used in your area. For those ones, the best time to plant them is actually going to be in the fall. And that's because winter is not going to be a problem for those cold hardy plants. But for newly established plants, plants that are recently planted, the first summer can actually be very hard on them. And that's because they don't have an established root system yet, so they're not able to reach out and find water sources during those hot summers. So by planting in the fall, you're actually giving those plants about 8 or 9 months of getting established before the hot weather of summertime hits, so they're gonna be better prepared for those summer temperatures. And this rule even works for cold hardy perennials. For example, if you live, say, in zone 7, and you're looking at a perennial that's cold hardy all the way to zone 4, then you could go ahead and plant that in the fall, and there's no problem with that going through your winter in zone 7. However, for any plants, including trees or shrubs or perennials that might be cold tender or winter tender in your zone, it's actually better to plant those in the spring. Because with any of those more tender perennials or even shrubs that are borderline cold hardy in your area, you want them to get established all spring, summer, and fall before that cold winter time hits. But I'd say when it comes to trees, shrubs, and perennials, about 80% of those for your zone, it is best to plant those in the fall. There's just that small portion that you should check with your local garden center and ask them if it's better to plant them in the spring or the fall. And that's why around here, we always say that fall is your planting season.